All right, good morning. Welcome everybody. As everybody starts to roll in, happy Monday. It is the week before, well, less than a week till Christmas, which is crazy to believe. It's finally done. The weekend went fast. Had a nice relaxing weekend. Hopefully you did too. So welcome to the live stream. So if you're watching on the replay, we'll get this out of the way. We go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Pacific time to about 8:45. It's great to have you join live. But as always, the replays are always on the channel. So as people roll in here, we will say good morning in a minute. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And I think this is hopefully going to be, market, we'll get into the market, but I think we're going to have a nice quiet week. I'll still be doing the live streams throughout this week. That's the plan. And then coming forward for after Christmas, I guess Monday would be Boxing Day. Maybe do a stream on Boxing Day. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see who is here. The regulars are here. Good morning. Candice, welcome. Great live stream yesterday, Candice, by the way. I always enjoy those. I have them on my reminders now, so I do get a chance to pop on Sundays. Those are always good conversation, some good news. Always learn something, and a good group of people over there. We have some of the same viewers, so that's awesome. If people are watching this and haven't checked out Candice's channel, make sure you check it out. And she does a live stream, I think every Sunday. I could be mistaken there, but I think it's every Sunday. And it's at 1 o'clock Pacific time, I believe. But go to her channel, set on notifications, you'll get notified, all that good stuff. And good morning, Zach. Welcome back to the live stream. It's always good. All the regulars coming in. We've got a few other people watching. Don't be scared if this is your first time watching. We've got a good group of people here. If you have questions or comments about TFSAs, investing, anything really, fire them in the chat. Don't be scared, or just say hi. If you're just a lurker, just say, hey, I'm a lurker. That's okay too. Going forward, so a bit of news to pull up this week, and if unless you've been under a rock somewhere, there was a poll put out we'll pull this up first. There was a poll put out with, of course, Elon Musk being Elon Musk. Let's find this here. Hold on, if I can. Did I save it? Did I not? There it is. So Elon yesterday on his Twitter, obviously, as people know, he bought Twitter to take it private, and he put a poll up last night asking basically on his Twitter feed saying, should I step down as the head of Twitter, yes or no? And he'll abide by the poll. So I have to find the poll again. I'm sorry, I had it closed. I had it up, and then I closed it off. Let's pull up the results of this. And according to, let's share the screen. Lots of clicks to always share this screen. So should I step down as Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll. 57.5% of the votes are yes. So over 17 million votes, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. And it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens. There was a little bit of a optimism and pump up of some Tesla first thing in the morning. That's now since come back down. We'll see what happens. Terrain, good morning. Always good to have you here. Thank you. And he does exactly. I think he definitely knows. He's no dummy. So he knows what he's doing. It obviously drives the engagement in there. He likes the attention for sure. It will probably appease some of the Tesla investors that have kind of seen, obviously the Tesla stock is not doing great right now. I think it's the lowest it's been in a year, if I'm not mistaken, and a big drop, mostly since he's got more involved with buying Twitter, and people feel he's taking his time away from Tesla and his other projects to waste it. I guess I wasted on Twitter, but I think he's got more planned for Twitter than I think a lot of people maybe realize. But he did obviously do it thinking that he can get out of it. He's obviously has some, maybe doesn't have somebody in mind for it yet. I'm going to assume a lot of people are probably on the list of potentials. And I think from the very beginning he wasn't planning. It's like all his companies. I don't think he's planning to stay anywhere for an indefinite period of time. So we'll see what happens with Twitter. He'll stick to it. We'll see what happens. I'm still a big Twitter user. I'm more of a lurker on there, but it is a good platform. But I think he's thinking, 12 steps ahead, I think, with Twitter. And he basically bought. I mean, obviously with Tesla involved with the AI. And I mean, it basically purchased Twitter. How long has it been going? 16 years, 15 years. It's basically 15 years of human interaction and data to be able to pull into use for what he's developing for AI, which I think that's a big chunk of why he purchased it as well. So he's got ideas for it. We'll see what happens and pans out. But in the meantime, he obviously will have to. I'm sure everybody and all the news seem to always glom onto him and to see who he brings on to run the day-to-day on there. Probably, I'm going to assume, probably in the next few months, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So always interesting. He's always in the forefront of news. People kind of like to either love him or hate him. He does definitely get press. And one little bit of article, then we'll get into we'll talk a bit about my investing and stuff, because I did post a couple of videos on the weekend. We can kind of go into my thoughts and everything on that. And the year, it's the time of year where you start to think about what the year forward, right? All these resolutions and plans and all that kind of stuff. But I did have one article to share, and we talked about it last week as well, but there's some new numbers come in for November. So housing, obviously, as we know, interest rates up, housing prices coming down. Canada home prices, the index fell in November again. So basically, prices are down. People can't afford them, right? So that's obviously what's causing it. And now with this, there is it's actually a year-over-year price gains, but the gains have continued. Like the drawdowns have definitely kind of erased those. So from the peak in May, it's now fallen 9%. Hamilton, Ontario is down 16.9%. Toronto is down 12.9%. This is on average, but prices are still higher from a year ago, up 2% still from November 2021. But the gains obviously are coming down because it's the 7th consecutive month and the slowest since November 2019. So prices coming down. I don't think maybe coming down fast enough for people to be able to afford them, especially with the new, well, not new, but the higher interest rates of the time, how harder to qualify. We definitely have to maybe have my friend Rob back on. He's out in Ontario, so he could probably have a bit more insight on what's going on in Ontario. I know from the Lower Mainland here, prices are still high. Prices are still high, but obviously things aren't, I guess, real estate moving as quickly. People don't have that FOMO anymore of trying to buy a house. And there's actually an article I read this morning about there was a builder in Ontario, and it's starting to come up for completion, and people can't close on their files or like on their purchases because the prices have come down and they can't afford to get a mortgage. And so it's kind of a disaster if you watch. If there's a few articles on that, but it's, I guess, people overbought, that's the crazy thing. So not a good position for people that had bought these pre-construction homes in Canada or in Ontario. I'm going to assume probably some of the same stuff is happening in the Lower Mainland here where I am. But we'll have to see how everything pans out and what goes on with rates. On the rate front, we had, obviously, last week, we had the Fed with the rate. We had a good little bump up because the market kind of knew what it was going to do. And then Powell did his speech, and it kind of came back right back down again. We're still in that zone. So if Santa rally, I don't know. We're kind of, if you're watching, I did, obviously we talked about the Santa rally on your live stream yesterday. Still time. I always like to remain optimistic for a bit of a rally, and it was there was a good comment by one of the viewers. I forget who it was that was watching Canada's live stream. It's like, what's the point of a Santa rally if we're not selling our stock? But it's nice to have a bit of a, everybody's attitudes are always nice. It's always a better feeling when things are in the green, whether you're not buying or anything or not. And that's why we like the Santa rally. It's nice to end the New Year's, with a little bit of green in the markets and on our portfolios as opposed to the red we've been seeing, I think, for the year. But that is what it is. So we'll see if we do get that Santa rally or not. We have a few more days to consider that. So Nadia, good morning. Good to have you back. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate it, taking your time out of the morning to come say hi. A lot of online realtors, excuse me, this is my tongue twisting here. A lot of online realtors are considering moving to free return options. I can see it getting to the point where people will have to pay for shipping and a restocking fees. Yeah, that's the thing. I do a fair amount of online shopping, Candace. I don't know if anybody else here, leave a comment. Do you shop online? Do you not? Like, what's your preference? I do. I would say the major. Well, groceries, obviously, I do curbside, so that's kind of online, but not the same. But I do buy stuff via Amazon, not all the time, but if I need something, I will go to Amazon first and go, okay, I need this. Is it cheaper? It's the same product? Can I get it? That kind of thing. It's interesting though. I don't think I've ever, it's funny when I bought from Amazon quite a bit, like I have Amazon Prime. I've never returned something to Amazon ever. I've never had anything. I've had stuff go missing before from Amazon, and they'll resend it, but I've never returned anything. But again, I have a friend whose wife, she does a lot of online shopping for clothes, and she'll bring it home. And so instead of going out, right, tries it all on, and whatever doesn't work, sends it back. So yeah, I could see them kind of looking at taking away some of those free returns. The whole thing is interesting though, because if people, you'd have to look at the statistics of how free shipping, really impacts what you purchase, right? Because if you purchase certain things, you might buy something if it's free shipping, but you might not if it's cost you $5. You know what I mean? So it's a really fine line. I think they have to play there. But again, if someone, I think what would happen is they could probably look at, if you have an account there and if you're doing a lot of returns, they can obviously track this kind of thing. It would be much like if I was every Amazon package that I got said, oh, I didn't receive this, they would eventually flag my account. So I think maybe online retailers should really look at probably individual customers before maybe potentially doing that. You get, you get a certain amount of returns for free, and then if you abuse it, you will have to start paying for it. But that's hard to say. Justin, welcome. Yeah, that's exactly it. They'll say it's broken or whatever, right? Wrong item came or something like that. There's always something that people will try and make up, right? To try and not pay for returns. And Nadia is a big Amazon shopper, so she's returned from Amazon or Amazon purchases, and they pick it up from the house so easy. I didn't. Yeah, see, I know you can just put it back in the box. I've never returned anything. I know it's fairly straightforward to get a refund on something that didn't show up, or reshipping is all kind of done by a chat. So pickup, I guess, looks pretty easy. I've seen people return stuff, I think, from post offices too. I think you can drop it out at post office if that's closer or easier. Yeah, I fortunately haven't had to return anything on Amazon yet. But everything's worked. Like nothing's been broken, which is nice as well. I did not. Yeah. So some items aren't eligible for returns. I can see maybe like food. I actually order a number of food items on Amazon, which sounds weird because you'd never think to buy certain food stuff on Amazon. But I buy coffee all the time because it's usually cheaper for the brand of coffee I buy. I also sometimes buy like non-perishable stuff. So some of the stuff like rice is cheaper on it for certain things. It's cheaper on Amazon. I bought tea on Amazon. I've also bought like toiletry stuff, like toothpaste was cheaper on Amazon, or deodorant, and some of those kind of things you can actually save a bit. If you have, I do pay for Amazon Prime, so it's obviously not, I'm kind of paying for Prime shipping, but I think it pays off because a lot of the stuff can be quite a bit cheaper by doing that. So some of the shopping stuff, if people are looking to save, like I buy brown rice, and on Amazon you can sometimes get it for the same price at the store. You just have to kind of check. But a lot of times if I need it, I'll go, okay, I need rice, and I'll order a couple, and it saved a couple dollars a package. which adds up, right? Adds up over the year. And the thing about Amazon, some of the products too, some of the home products like home food, non-perishable stuff like that, and like toiletries and everything else. If you do kind of like a shopping load, and you buy 5 different items, sometimes it's on like 5% off the whole thing. So you add enough to your cart, you get an extra little bit of a discount, which makes sense. And I'm gonna guess if it's faulty, it should be obviously returned if it's not working. I've lucked out. I have always had something arrive. Sometimes it's maybe a day late or something like that. It's not the end of the world. Well, especially right now because it's always so busy. I think busy time of year for shipping, right? But for the most part, it always kind of arrives on time, or if it's late, it's usually the day after. I have had stuff get lost a couple times because they delivered it to the wrong place. That's what they kind of do more. I find they deliver it to the wrong address, so it'll show delivered, and then you just have to go to your neighbors and go, I think you got my Amazon package, because I think they're just so busy they don't necessarily read the. I don't know. I'm just thinking they just get busy and miss the unit number or something like that is wrong. But I've had that happen a couple times, or the neighbors will come over and knock on the door and say, "Oh, I think this is your Amazon." But for the most part, that kind of works. But I do a fair amount of online stuff. That's kind of the first place I look. If I need something, I just kind of go online because it's kind of simpler, and you check Amazon, which is kind of crazy. So it seems to work all right. So going forward, it's the end of the year coming up, right? Christmas time. So I did share a couple videos on my channel. If you haven't had a chance to go watch them yet, you can always head out after the stream. They're on there. One was on the Santa Rally. We'll see, as we talked about a little bit briefly before, we'll see kind of a little bit of history of the Santa Rally, what it actually is, how it happens, why it happens. That's on the channel, so you can go check that out. We'll cross our fingers that we're actually going to get one today. Hard to say, or not today, but this year. But the other video I shared a little bit of my. When we've talked about it on the stream a little bit, but I finally kind of made decisions on what I'm going to be doing in the new year for my investing. So how I'm going to be going forward is starting in the new year. I'm still going to be doing the StreamYard challenge. So once a month, I will continue that because we're doing that for a year. That's going to carry on. I think I still haven't figured out for that one what I'm going to purchase. Probably going to purchase the original Brookfield, which the name changed just to keep it the same for the year. And so we'll go forward with that. $25 US converted to Canadian every first of the month. So we'll start that in January. Obviously, market will be closed on January 1st, but we'll do that on January 2nd. And then what I'm going to be starting to do is put $100 a week automatically into my TFSA. Now, I was going to start to set up auto purchases, but as we talked about before, it's kind of fun to actually put your money, see it come in and make the trades and make those decisions. So the $100, what I'm going to be doing to start with, splitting it in half, taking $50 and buying one share of VDY. So that's going to be about 40 right now. I think it's right now about $42. So I'm going to have some. Obviously, right now it's $40.97. So I'm going to buy just one share of that from the $50. Whatever's left from that amount, I'm going to put into the VDY of the S&P. So I'll buy fractional shares of that to go forward for $50. So that's going to take care of that. The other $50, I'm trying to bump up and save up a bit more on my emergency savings fund. And I'll be putting $50 into the Purpose Canadian Cash High Interest ETF. So that's just a cash ETF. It gets deposited into the ETF, and they invest it into the banks, basically the big banks, for higher interest. It's paying, I think, about 4.59, 4.69% right now. Whether that continues, I guess if rates keep going up, yes. But that's kind of where I'm going to start to build up my emergency fund a bit more to keep it in the TFSA. That being said, the thing with that one, obviously, because it is an emergency fund, there may be some, thinking long-term with the portfolio and everything else. there might be some changes in that amount. So for example, if I get a bill or something comes up that I have to withdraw that, I'm leaving that open, just so if I have to. That's why it's basically going to be sticking in a cash account that's going to maybe making me some interest, because it's going to be paying higher interest than what's money sitting in my, Wealthsimple save pays 1.5%. One of your banks, sometimes there may be 1.5%, 2%. You might get some bonus interest rate different places, but I found this one, I think, probably be the best one for me to start building that up. So I want to do that for the year to try and use that. But obviously, if there's any kind of emergency or expense that comes up, I might have to dip into that. Hope I don't, but that's kind of the plan. But I will keep doing the $100 deposits every week. So that's kind of the goal. Consistency on that. But also in the meantime, with the stocks and everything I have, I'm not planning on selling anything. If anything, kind of for some reason this next year we have a great year and something goes up substantially, I might look at selling something, but there's no plans right now for anything. The dividends I receive from the individual obviously if I get dividends still from BTC.Y, I'm still going to roll those back into BTC.Y. All the other shares from companies that I receive dividends will go back into the same one. If I can buy a fractional share, I'll just buy a fractional share with the dividends. If I can't buy a fractional share, I'll kind of move some funds in to be able to cover a full share. We'll see how that carries on. I want to still keep the allotments for a lot of the percentages wise the same. So that will mean some deposits in when I can extra, but I really want to get kind of diligent on at least $100 a week on how it's kind of automatically set up. So that's going to be nice. And the bump is nice. I want to try and bump up some of the other positions as well, because as of February, towards the end of February, I don't have my car payment anymore. So that's going to be nice to be able to put a bit extra in there. So whether I just keep that in cash, I don't know. I haven't figured all that out, but I'll have a bit more free cash flow, which is nice going forward. So that's the plan for 2023. So obviously, let me know. It's always interesting to see what other people are doing. Anybody making any changes, or what's your goals for the year? Coming year. It's always fun to hear. Let me know in the comments. And Zach, welcome. Did my first transfer from Wealthsimple to my new wallet. Awesome. There you go. Yeah, it was. It's fairly straightforward. I had some. I had Bitcoin in there that I've transferred off. The first one's always scary, but it's pretty straightforward now. I don't know what your. I don't know what. I forget now. I forget it. I think Bitcoin they charge you a fee to transfer it out. I could be wrong, but depending what you're investing in, Zach, now that you have your wallet and stuff, if you're looking at just Bitcoin, what I find one of the best ones for that is, I've said it before on here, is Shakepay. It's really easy, and the transfers out, they don't charge you. So you have to really look at. It depends. You can look at the spreads on prices and stuff if you're buying that kind of stuff, Zach, between Wealthsimple and Shakepay. Sometimes one will be better than the other, and it just kind of depends on where you want to go. But like with Shakepay, you might pay a little bit more on the spread, but when you go to move it off, you don't pay any fee. So if you want to move smaller amounts, it's more beneficial that way. So I've kind of just decided to do that. So I still do my. I still do my kind of daily dollar cost average of Bitcoin on Shakepay, and I just transfer it off at the end of the week. Of course, I could transfer it off anytime, but I just kind of let it go for the week and transfer it off. Yeah, and it's not that expensive. I mean, it's not that expensive for the transaction, right? It's roughly $1, yeah, for the transfer. Now, and then obviously, if you have it on your wallet now, it's like, if you want to do a transaction, you'll obviously pay a transaction charge to the network, and that's usually not that expensive either. I've been interested in what one you bought, Zach. Did you buy a Ledger or one of the other ones? I use the Ledger. The Ledger, I think it's the Nano. I forget what one it is now. Nano Plus or something like that. So I've transferred it all my cryptos off. Wealthsimple. Nano S. That's the thing. Exactly the same one that I think I have the X. I could be mistaken. I have to look now. They're so confusing. Ledger, Nano. I have the X. It's got a bigger screen. I have the X. It's got the bigger screen for my eyes that are terrible. But those work. It's really easy setup. Hey, once you do one transaction, you can kind of it's nerve-wracking the first time, but then carry forward is not too bad for transferring different assets out. And then once you figure out, I don't know, I think you have other things. I think you have Solana and stuff like that. You can set up the wallet with Solana and basically almost any other digital asset. But that takes a bit more research and stuff, but there's lots of info out there there's definitely lots of videos and stuff on ledgers on YouTube going forward. So that's cool. Good. Yeah. Take it off I think Wealthsimple is relatively safe from what I've understood if you want to keep your stuff on there. But there's really no need to, if you're holding it, there's really no need to keep them on an exchange or any exchange. And as we've learned from all the stuff that's happened with obviously FTX and some of the other exchanges too. It's better just to take it off, own it, and have it on your wallet. Well, you can lose your wallet, just don't lose your keys, or give those keys, that secret key phrase. Don't put that anywhere that you will lose it. Definitely keep track of that going forward. Especially if you have a lot on there. But there we go. So that's that. So yeah, I guess going forward, I guess we'll talk about 2023 as well. Still do my little purchase of Bitcoin every day. Comes through on Shakepay. I still do my shake, so that's kind of nice. That's adding up. I still have my shake streak, which is nice. So 1,000 satoshis a day coming through because I remember to shake my phone. So it's kind of a fun way to get a little bit of Bitcoin. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in the next year with it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. On that note, with digital currencies, I'll still be keeping in my TFSA BTC.Y. No plans on selling that. We'll be adding to that as well. Try and keep it about 5%. So that's where I am with crypto stuff. Going forward. What else for the new year? That sums it up. I mean, for me, it's mostly just going to be slow and steady. I think we're in for 2023 is probably not going to be necessarily the greatest start off in the year as we're seeing with the market now. It's just, but it's not any. I don't think that's a reason to stop investing in anything. So I think taking advantage of it when things are down, dollar cost average, and just slow and steady through the ups and downs, and the core, we talked about before, the two core kind of holdings on my TFSA have really turned into VDY and VFV. I've been happy with those, and we'll keep it going forward. The only one I really have concern about, which happened this last week, was TransAlta Renewables. It took like basically like the drop off, much like the other power. It was like an Algonquin moment last week, which wasn't nice to see. It's down substantially. I haven't. Yeah, so I have to see if I'm going to be keeping on that. I think they've kept the dividend so far, so I'm not planning on selling it, but we'll have to really keep an eye on that. Whether I buy any more or not, we'll have to see. It's down basically. I mean, it was down to for TransAlta. Whoa, geez, it was down to roughly its 2019 levels. It's just not doing great. So we'll have to see. They're saying they can keep up with their dividends. That will be yet to be seen. We'll see how that happens going forward. So that was kind of a not a good sight to see on the portfolio as things were starting to kind of improve. But I guess that's what happens with investing. You can't always win. So we'll see what happens with the TransAlta. Again, everything is kind of a long-term hold for me, so I'm not going to panic and sell anything, but may just not put anything new into it, depending on how things keep rolling out for the portfolio. So that's my portfolio, how kind of keeping keeping going. And again, I talked about trying to max out I'm going to do the $100 deposit. So that will give me, if I can get that every week, $5,200, which is awesome. Obviously, the TFSA limit has been increased again this year. So the rest of the goal is to try and put that other amount into the portfolio as well. To try and, obviously, I'm nowhere near the max of what I can put in my TFSA. But this year, going forward, 2023, next year, I want to try and put what would in theory be my limit for the year into the TFSA. That's my goal going forward. So we're going to try and do that, and hopefully by kind of mid next year we start to kind of maybe come out of this. We'll see how that happens. The bear market can't last forever, but I think and we'll probably hopefully we'll be looking back in 5 or so years. Hopefully still be doing this channel as well, and be able to look back and at a time when we could actually really get some good prices on stuff. So we'll see how that goes forward. In terms of market today, we can take a look. Not looking the greatest. Not looking. It's everything's. We've had kind of a not a great past week-ish towards the end of last week, anyways, and we'll see what pans out. I just kind of we can always hope for that rally. Whether we get it, we'll see what actually happens. It would be nice to end the week. Hopefully, as we go through these live streams, to have a bit of a green day. It's always nice to. It's always more fun to be. It's always more fun to be live streaming when the market's up. But that's what it is. We just have to kind of stick with our plans. That's kind of the goal. And in terms of the channel going forward, I've been doing a bunch of research on different new mic, I want to get this set up because I'm going to continue on doing these live streams. They're a lot of fun. The group is always a good group of people. We can try and build it up. Whether we go on different time, probably not. It's nice to go on in the morning before I start work. But we might start to do. I want to get basically kind of level it up a little bit. So I've just been looking at certain things to get to set up better camera, a little bit better camera, because I'm just using the one on my iMac, which is okay, but also a better microphone. I'm just using the one on the iMac as well, but I've just been doing some research, and I think if I have a better quality mic to use, the sound will be a bit better and look a bit more professional instead of just kind of rolling in here. Now I can't get away with that StreamYard logo because I'm being frugal, not cheap, frugal. But eventually, what we'll do is we'll have once the year's up, I'll have to figure out a solution to a good streaming type of software that's easy. I'm techie, but I start looking at these other options for streaming, and it's like, whoa, that's way too techie for me. So we'll see how that goes. First thing is going to be getting the sound and video set up for the new year, and then we'll keep moving forward with the channel, because these are a lot of fun, and we'll keep the live streams going as long as people are showing up to them. So it's always nice when you log in the morning and you have a few people show up instead of talking to myself. I remember some of the first few ones. It can be very very quiet when no one's around on the stream front as we go forward. But I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic for 2023. I think I like to always be a bit more on the optimistic side with investing and carrying forward. I've learned a lot this year from everybody on the channel, comments on the channel. It's been a lot of fun. Definitely been a lot of fun. It would be nice if we all had a better year. I mean, I don't know everybody's portfolio. Mine, as everybody sees, not doing the greatest right now. But again, I'm not going to sweat it yet, and just keep dollar cost averaging. That seems to be the key, I think, going forward into the next year. Play it a bit safe. Bump up my savings a little bit for emergency, just in case, and hopefully don't have to use it. and then we'll see how it carries on into the year. Now, in terms of the week, I'm wondering if anybody is on vacation. Is anybody having has anybody started their any kind of Christmas vacation yet? This is my kind of last week. I do work all week, for better or worse, unfortunately, but it's the week before Christmas always seems to be a bit of a write-off. But I always find that everybody at work, everybody always wants everything done so quick. Like now they're in the time crunch, because they're like, let's get this done before Christmas. And it's like, you should have figured this out 2 weeks ago, because we're basically at Christmas, because everybody's in the same mood. I think they don't want to work. So I was up early this morning getting a lot of my paperwork and stuff finished before I actually start the day. So don't actually have to work too much today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, before the phone starts ringing. But I think everybody's in the Christmas mood as of now, and it's outside is actually, I've got snow, so which is always kind of a bit more rare for the west coast. It's usually the wet coast, but there's snow on the ground. It's snowing today. I was out for a little bit yesterday, and the roads were terrible, but I didn't have to go far. But and I'm glad I don't have to commute in this weather anywhere. I'm glad I work from home. I don't have to work. I don't have to drive anywhere, because it's kind of gross. If anybody is on the West Coast, they know what the roads are like. As soon as it gets a millimeter of snow, it's like bumper cars, and it's just not a nice place to be when you're in a car having to drive to work. And in terms of Christmas time, for me, I'm going to be visiting family in the new year, though. So I'm not going in for the first time in a while. I'm not going to be anywhere at Christmas on Christmas Day, which is actually kind of nice. I'm looking forward to not being stressed out and having to be at different places and different families and all of this kind of stuff. So nothing till the new year for me, which is nice. Looking forward to that. So Candace, if you're watching, I'll be able to catch your live stream on Christmas Day. I mean, put the fire up on my channel for a bit on Christmas. We'll see how that pans out. You can always put that up for people if they're hanging around, opening presents, watching the fire. But other than that, no plans. So there we yeah, you do your live stream on Christmas Day. I think you should do it all day. No, I'm just kidding. Your 24-hour live stream. That's good. Can always, I think it'll be interesting. I was looking, Candace, at my statistics of the channel, and over last Christmas it was very quiet, but I wasn't posting a lot because I just didn't. I've been really posting more in the last couple months with live streams and videos and that kind of stuff. So it was kind of down. I think people just spend time with their family, don't go online, and you can tell people aren't. You can tell with there's the diehards which are on the stream, which is awesome, and there's the in the channel you get the same people commenting, which is awesome, and visiting. But I'm interested to see not as many. It seems like there's not as many new visitors because we need a bull market. We need a bull market to bring people back to wanting to invest. It's really interesting actually how the views on certain videos at certain timing with the market are higher than now. Then now it goes out of favor, and this is, I think, the time when people should be investing to take advantage of this, and not when everything's high and crazy. But that's maybe a few people will find our channels and learn a few things and get started, and that will be good carrying forward. On that note, I do want to start sharing, as I've kind of started to share a bit more different things on the channel, more general kind of ideas. So if anybody has any ideas, I don't get into the big deep dives in terms of stocks and stuff. Candace does an awesome job at that, and that's where I go for my info. So I don't have to do it, and that's not going to be my gig. But we'll keep some basic ones. I have found that I have a lot of people searching for more beginner stuff on my channel. So we'll do a few more videos on that, but still sharing the portfolio. And as always, like if I do any purchases and stuff, I fire that on the community tab. It's a great place to kind of see what's going on. And then in terms of the channel, over 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. That was kind of the goal, to get there for the year, which is awesome. The goal was also to get monetized, which hasn't happened yet. People always sometimes wonder, because I think sometimes there is ads that play in front of my videos from some people have said, but YouTube's getting that money. Not me. Getting there close. These live streams are helping, and I think I just need a good good bull market, or a good video to really pop off. Will take me over the top there, but we'll see what happens in the new year. Keep plugging away. Keep having fun. It is fun to do. So I won't be stopping anytime soon. It's not about making that extra few bucks with YouTube. It's because I enjoy it. So that's why I do it. So we're coming up at 8:45. These ones, they always go fast. Even if not a lot of people are chatting, it's always fun to see what's going on. And as I ramble on, the time flies by, and it's nice to spend the first 45 minutes of my day saying hi to everybody and doing that. So I will be starting. As I talked about that automatic deposit, I'll be starting that in the new year. So I mentioned that I haven't done any purchases, as we talked about with the portfolio. I did have a dividend come through on Friday from Slate Office REIT. So I did roll that. I had some other funds in the account kind of sitting there. So I bought one more share of Slate Office REIT because the dividend came in. So I was able to roll that in. So that was purchased. That's the only thing I kind of bought. So if anybody's buying anything, let us know in the comments. It's always kind of interesting to hear what people are doing, or people saving their money for Christmas. Maybe that's a bit what people are doing too. We'll have to see as we go forward. So that's all everybody. 8:45. Last bit to get some questions in. If you wanted to ask a question, now's the time. If you don't have a question to ask, go ahead. You can hit the like button on the stream. I always have to say that once. Helps the channel out. If you hit the like, gets it out there. If you aren't subscribed and you're kind of viewing this, feel free, subscribe. Share regular channel videos. Also have a live stream Monday to Friday. It'd be great to have you join along. And if you know anybody, if you have any friends that you think might be interested in this channel, pass on the link. It's always appreciated. The more the merrier. I think we'll have looking forward to this new year. I think looking forward to the channel, looking forward to getting just keep doing keep carrying on. It is a lot of fun to do. So we'll leave it at that, everybody. I will sign off with a little bit of the Christmas fireplace we're doing this year. We're in the Christmas spirit, so we'll sign off with that, and we'll be back tomorrow at the regular time, 8 o'clock Pacific time, and it'll be great to have you there. Thanks so much for everybody that's joining in. It's always fun. Have a great rest of your Monday. Don't work too hard this week, and we'll see you in the next one.